Hey guys, so I just want to do a quick follow-up video to the solo Paladin ZF boost from 40 to 52. Um, just from the tips and tricks that I learned along the way. I did grind ZF all the way from 40 all the way through to 52. No issues, pretty quick. I'd say it's comparable to Mara boosting, maybe even a bit faster, and it'll save you a lot of gold. So if you haven't seen up to this point yet, I did a previous video, which I'll have linked in the description. And you can go ahead and check that out. I'm also a level 41 at that time. I'm obviously 53 now, a bit higher. And this is just strictly for, everything I learned along the way. Just right off the bat, I like to mark the two paths that come into this room, this blood drinker here, and um, the other mob you'll see here shortly that comes all the way through. They're not always blood drinkers. Sometimes they are shadow hunters. Sometimes they're witch doctors. With the shadow hunters, if this is a shadow hunter, or if this mob is a shadow hunter, we want to make sure we completely avoid them. Shadow hunters are a no-go for this pull. So if you happen to get a shadow hunter in your pull, you want to go ahead and reset your pull, because they can hex you, they can range you. They're not gonna work for this. So if you do get one, make sure you get your pull reset and try your best to avoid them. With the blood drinkers and witch doctors that do come through, if you do happen to get one, you can still do the pull with them. The witch doctors are kind of screwy because they can heal themselves, so you'll probably have to reset after. And they might not always follow perfectly with all the other mobs, so it does make it a little awkward, but it's still doable. Just a little less perfect. But yeah, so I can already tell you this mob count's going to be a little lower than usual. When I was cracking graves, they weren't all coming out, so the mob count's not always static. As you click these graves, sometimes they're going to come out, sometimes they're not. Usually you average around 45 mobs or so. So yeah, let's go into what I do here. So currently I'm in my ret set, or I guess technically whatever I'm wearing, because I'm just boosting this guy. So this is what I'm running. It's just a standard ret build. Things to point out in here, I think the biggest thing being Pursuit of Justice. The 15% run speed is massive. It makes the jump from corner to corner here just super easy. Outside of that, Vengeance is really good. That's going to increase your consecrate damage by about 5 to 7 per tick, which is awesome for this. Repentance, I don't know if you'll have it at 40. I don't think you'll have it at 40, but as you go through, you might be able to get it. It's not something you need, but it is something that can help. If you pull like the blood drinkers or the witch doctors or any other live mobs. I don't know if I don't think any of these work, but strictly the blood drinkers or witch doctors, if you're in your pull and they get kind of out of the stack, you can repentance them and they'll stand there. And obviously if they get a head or something, you can just leave them there for a few seconds. Same with Hammer of Justice, obviously, but outside of that, I don't think there's anything really worth mentioning. Oh yep, there is. Sanctity Aura is going to increase your consecration damage, so we want to make sure we have that, and we have that on for the pull. So for Sanctity Aura, we're going to pop that on once we get up here and we're ready to get the pull going. I am completely out in every tab. I'm just starting to get into Holy just for the strength, just because I'm at that level now, but you guys won't be at this point. If you want to go strictly for a ZF build, I haven't really researched into it, but you could take the increased intellect just for the mana for this if you're having mana issues. But I found with the mana pots, it's really almost always not an issue. So I really wouldn't worry about it too much. All right, so we're gonna go ahead. I run just basically of the owl, of the eagle, just random pieces of gear I've gotten along the way to increase my mana and my spell power. So we're gonna throw all that on for this now. We're gonna run mantle. What do we got here? We'll leave the spirit. There we go. All right. I got both my. Oh, all right, so we're in a in spirit set primarily. I think I might have some spell power here on this. That's healing damage. If you can find anything with spell power, it's gonna your consecrate scales with your spell power. So anything you can find is better if you've got the mana or the spirit to support it. But all right, so we're set with that. Let's look at consumes. Arcane elixirs, they're going to increase your consecrate damage. Obviously, I'm high enough to use graders, so I'm going to pop a grader. We have your wizard oils at 40. Obviously, sub 45, you're going to be using regular wizard oil. After 45, you can start using some brilliant. That's going to increase your spell damage as well. Oh, sorry, I should mention it has to be above a level 45 weapon. So this one's only 39, so it would only work if I use this right here. So this one should work. I don't know if you guys will have that level at the time. Maybe if you find something on the auction house that'll work. So I'm actually going to use it just because I don't think I'm going to need this right now. I'd rather have the increased, what is it, 36 spell damage over the 8 spirit. So I'm going to run that for the brilliant wizard oil. If you have any scrolls, you can pop scrolls on yourself. Those are always helpful. Intellect, spirit, anything you can get. Outside of that, Night Fin Soup for the mana regen. I think that's it. I think I covered everything. All right, so what we want to do going into this pull, we have our Sanctity Aura on. We're going to pop Blessing of Wisdom on ourselves. Usually the mobs will be more spread through here. I'm actually surprised that they're not. A lot of them, sometimes, every so often you'll see them kind of gather right in front of the boss, but a lot of times they're spread all out. So right here, they're all zombies. Sometimes you'll see some dead heroes in here. Dead heroes and zombies do not social with each other. They do not pull with each other. So if you aggro one of these zombies, and you don't specifically aggro a dead hero with it, it's not going to pull, even if the zombies are all running through. You got to actually target and aggro those guys themselves. So on a lot of these pulls where they're spread out, you'll see me do a turn evil on the zombie and a exorcism on the dead hero. So this zombie's going to pull all his friends. We want to get up here as quick as possible before they reset. They're going to start running once I get right in here. So now it's the pull's engaged. Exercise the dead hero or whoever you can over there. And it's just going to start pulling everything over. One thing to note, and you're not going to see it, you're not going to see it here, but around here, if they're still over here, it's going to stop them. It's going to put them in a reset spot. You want to keep going or just jump right over, and that'll keep them running. You do not want the mobs to reset when you're still stacking them up. Another thing I learned along the way, just jumping back and forth. You can keep these guys in limbo for as long as you want. This will stack them up really, really good. You'll see they kind of do a run down when you're jumping over. So if they're in this spot running down, they're gonna get this beautiful stack. So sometimes they get split like that when they're coming across here. And it does happen a lot, and it's gonna get annoying. And like I said, just kind of get them around there and just start doing the jump back and forth. So they're running down into the pit, and then they're gonna stack right back up. All right, so to get the rest, so this is a blood drinker here. I don't know why the icons dropped. That's weird. So we can pull him, like I said, and I will grab him just so we have him in this video, just so you guys can see it. But you can completely avoid him. You can keep doing this if you don't want him. You can keep doing this until he goes away. But if you don't mind grabbing him, you can just jump down and grab him. So to get these, since we're not a mage, we can't reach. We're going to jump down. We're going to get an exorcism off on these guys. I'm going to pull this guy. If you need to, you can pop a blessing of protection on yourself to get everybody. We're waiting. These mobs are going to come back down. We got 5 seconds. Jump back up here. So now they're evading. No one's running anywhere right now. We're going to jump up. And I'm going to show you how these guys stop when you get to a certain spot here. See, they stopped right here. They're not going to keep going until you move. It's certain spots there that they just kind of start evading on. So just make sure you're not staying in that spot for too long if you got mobs running from over there, because you do not want any of them to start resetting. So we're going to get these all stacked back up. Just keep doing your jump back and forth. All right, and then we're going to let them run over, and then we're going to do it one more time, and then we're just going to go drop a consecration at the end here. Now they're stacking. Ooh, we're doing a lot of damage now. Drop down, they're going to run back through it. We're going to drop a rank 1 to save some mana. We're going to keep doing this over and over, rinse and repeat. Drop one about halfway if you can make it. Again, a lot of this was already covered in the previous video. I'll have the link in the description, but those mobs can hit you on the wall if they are ahead and they look like they're going to hit the corner before you. Don't risk it. I like to strafe. I like to hug the right just to be safe, and I like to drop it as far as I can before they get there. I'll try, if I can, I'll try to show you them hitting me from the wall, but I don't want to risk dying just to do that. So just be aware, if they're up here, they can hit you if they're ahead. So these guys are going to die pretty quick. I'm doing a lot more consecration damage now. But I'll show you up here, I'll show you the bubble with the easy throw dynamite that I do. I'm actually going to save it here just so you guys can see it. So we're going to drop a bubble, drop a consecrate, walk to the end of it. We're going to drop an easy throw dynamite. That's going to proc our vengeance here. I'm going to drop down so I don't die. So now we have vengeance. We're increased 15% increased damage. So if we drop a consecrate now, we're going to see it's a lot higher than it was before. So we're doing 60 now. So that's an extra 7 damage per tick we're getting off of that. So not only did they stand in that consecrate that entire duration, we hit them with an easy throw. That was a lot more damage. And then we proc 3 ticks of vengeance, which is increasing our consecrate damage by 7 per tick. So, I mean, that's just a lot of damage you really can't miss out on. So just doing that over and over. I know, obviously, I'm a lot higher now, so I'm killing these a lot faster. But that kind of stuff is key to getting these guys down as fast as possible in your 40 to 52 grind. Doing those as much as you can, stacking up on easy throws and proccing your vengeance and dropping your consecrates and using your mana pots. That's gonna get these down ASAP. And so as we're getting lower here, they're 25% now. You can see on my frames they're yellow now. They're gonna start slowing down here very shortly. I think 20% is when they start to slow down, and you'll see the more they get hurt, the slower they get. So we're down to 20 now. So now they're gonna start taking a little longer. We're just going to keep dropping max ranks. I got the mana for it. I actually forgot to re-up my Blessing of Wisdom. After you use a Blessing of Protection, be aware that you need to redo your Blessing of Wisdom. And you can only have one blessing on at a time. So if you use Blessing of Protection, it takes up your Blessing of Wisdom. And do not, and I did do it one time, so I do want to note, do not notice that your Blessing of Wisdom is off when you're in a Blessing of Protection and try to re-put on your Blessing of Wisdom, because you will drop Blessing of Protection and get yourself killed. All right, so I am out of mana. Just to keep this going, I'm going to pop another mana pot so I can keep doing rank 3 or rank 4 consecrates. These guys are real slow right now, so it's super easy. They're going to stay in the consecrates for even longer now, so they're just going to die faster. So it takes a little while to set up when you're lower, but once you're in it and these guys start dying, the pull speeds up pretty significantly, especially if you're doing your vengeances. And one thing you do when you do get Holy Wrath, if you can cheese it, it's got, I think, a 30-yard range. You can hit them all with that and proc your vengeance as well, like you see there. I should have showed it in this video. I forgot to, but when they're running here, you can proc it like right here. If you want to get your vengeance going, here, I'll get him back over. I know he's not undead. He's a blood drinker. This is that extra we're talking about. But I'll show you what I'm talking about, so you guys can kind of see. So if we have the stat going, we can jump across. They're running over. If you want to get your vengeance going, I'm not sure you'll get a consecrate off in the time, but you can get a Holy Wrath started about here. When they're running across, you can get it procced when they're hitting this corner. You'll get your triple stack of vengeance, and then you just come down, drop down, and you'll be able to drop your consecrates in your triple stack vengeance, which is obviously going to increase your damage. So that's another thing you can do that I just kind of learned along the way. I don't remember what level you get Holy Wrath at. I think it is midway through, like 45, 40, maybe I'm sorry, 46, 48, somewhere in that range. But it's just little things that you can add to your pull as you level up. Let's go through some loot here. The loot has been pretty good. I really haven't paid much attention to the gold per hour. I really haven't cared much about that. But I know we're not spending any gold getting boosted through Mara. So everything here is just a plus. Mara has become extremely expensive with the demand of Paladins boosting. So it's me being as cheap as I am. I said, well, I boosted a mage through Mara. I've heard that it can be done. So I immediately went in here and started doing this to save me some gold. Some of these mobs, if they die up here, you're not going to be able to loot them, which kind of sucks. Sometimes you can reach. If I try to cheese it, I might be able to get one. Nope. So sometimes you can reach, sometimes you can't. But if you can avoid killing them up here, if you really want to loot, then try to avoid that. But unfortunately, that just happens sometimes. All right, so I'm going to add Scarabs to the pull. It's pretty easy to do, and it's about, I think I noticed about 7,000 to 8,000 experience extra gained from the pull. It adds about 4 or 5 minutes, I think. And it's just an easy pull to pull off. So what we're gonna do is Devotion Aura. Good things to have for this are Swiftness pots. You don't need them, but they are a bonus. If to note, as I was stating earlier, if this mob is a Shadow Hunter, we cannot do the Scarab pull. You cannot do the Scarab pull. Do not bother, just reset. Unfortunately, it happens. So we're gonna go through, since this is a blood drinker, we can do this. We're gonna go through. We can do the strafe drum, try to avoid dazes. With Thika, you can kind of cheese it here. You can get this mob if you want him in the right spot. I like to have him about over here and start the pull from this corner. Show you here. So he's gonna, oh, I'm sorry, I misspoke. My coordinates are screwed up. So he's gonna be about here now, and we are going to go here. So we're gonna, at 40, this guy can pull. Just be careful. I completely forgot that he exists. So especially if that's a Shadow Hunter, be extra careful not to pull this. Like you just saw, that's a reset spot. So if you do manage to pull it, this right here is also a reset spot. You're gonna need to be out of line of sight from those guys. So either use this here or this here. They're both reset spots. They can't hit you in it as long as they're not in melee range. If they are in melee range, they can hit you. So be very careful there. But as you add these to the pull, okay, so there's 2 Shadow Hunters that are going through this. So as you're adding these to adding the mobs to the pull, just make sure you've you know all your resets. You can get back. You're not gonna die. If you can't get the Scarabs, it's not worth losing your progress over. So just be mindful. Once these guys get out of here, we will go ahead and pull the Scarab here. Since I'm high enough, I can do this now. So Thika's coming around the start right here. So as we go around, we're gonna grab these. They social pull. So as long as one of the Scarabs is aggroed, it's gonna social pull all of this. And this is where Pursuit of Justice is huge. It's going to add the speed. So I'm running through just to grab them all, just so I can show you guys. So bubble here. You can jump up here to kind of cheese it a little bit. So see how they get stuck, and then they give you a huge advantage. And then we can drop an easy throw there to grab more. And then what I like to do is drop consecrates. Keep dropping consecrates. I'm sorry, I hit the wrong button. Because they can. And you can hit this guy with a hammer just as on your way out, because they can reset. So I like to keep ticking damage on them just in case, just to keep them engaged. And then we're gonna jump up here, get right up to the ledge as quick as possible. Try to keep them from resetting. You're gonna see here they're gonna stop as you run over. That's fine. Get over to this corner here, and then they'll start running again. Get a heal on yourself if you took damage. You can see we got a blood drinker in that, obviously, because he was in the path. And then we're just going to start just like normal. So we're going to start doing our jump back and forth to keep them stacked. These guys do the poison clouds. That's fine. Not a big deal. Does not do very much damage. All right, and then we're going to let them come over, and then we're going to start to pull. So it's the exact same thing. These scarabs die pretty quick. So we're just going to rinse and repeat. Don't forget to put back on Sanctity Aura. You notice right there, it was doing 45. Now we're up to 50, 51. That's how big Sanctity Aura is. Every single tick is an extra 5 to 6 damage. For this, you can generally keep doing max ranks. Like I said, they're going to die pretty quick. So you shouldn't go through your entire mana pool. And if you do, you should have a mana pot just to finish them off. And they, it does seem that they are a bit slower, but you can see that they're already, obviously I'm higher, but they're already about halfway dead. Their health pool is just a lot smaller. It's a lot easier. They're going to start slowing down here soon too. So pretty quick pull to add to it. Like I said, I think it's about 8,000 experience with about, well, let's see here. We can, so we've got, hold on. We've killed, why is it only showing 4 mobs? All right, so my instance tracker screwed up. It only shows, oh, you know why? Because it's not, they don't come for experience. So unfortunately, I won't be able to tell you the exact mob count of this, but it's pretty significant, and it adds about, like I said, 8,000 experience or so. So if you can pull off the Scarab pull, it is 100% worth it to do. It only adds a few minutes, and you're going to get about 8,000 experience out of it. These guys are going to die, and then it does add more loot as well. You have a chance to get, I believe there's an epic you can get, like edgies or something off these guys, Edge Masters Gauntlets or something off these guys. You're going to notice it's really not worth to keep going with this guy. I played with it for a while. Essentially, it's just a whole nother pull with this guy. So it's really not worth it to go. So once they're dead, just go ahead, hop down here to get him reset. It's going to take a minute or so. Once he's reset, go pick up your loot and then reset the dungeon. I have another account which I will show. So he reset. We're going to go ahead and hop up here again, and we're just going to start looting. See how you guys saw, I can still grab some of these off the wall, but sometimes they get high enough up that you just unfortunately can't reach. So a lot of these you will see that don't have anything or just have trash. It's really not much loot to grab. Sometimes you can get a green. Most of the time it's either nothing or just grays. But there is a chance, I believe, on these to get a BOE epic. All right, so now I'm going to... Generally, I'll have my alt added to this. I wasn't planning on doing any resets. I'm just doing a quick video for you guys, but I'll at least show you guys the reset here. So I got my alt in the group. I'm going to go ahead and log off. Make sure that your alt has lead. Once I log off here, I'm going to go ahead and reset the dungeon from my alt. You can also do this with a friend, obviously. Just have the friend do it. Second you get logged off here, go ahead and reset the dungeon, and you're going to start right at the beginning here. So you'll see that. So I am off. I have reset the dungeon on my alt. You're going to see here I'm at the start now. Completely reset dungeon. You can go right through and just start going again. And that's it, guys. I think I covered everything I wanted to cover that I missed from the last video, just the stuff that I learned on the way. Hopefully I've answered any questions you guys had from the previous video. like I said a couple times already, if you guys haven't seen that video, go ahead and check the description. I've got the whole run through with the resets to get there at level 41. Like I said, I did do this since 40. It is 100% doable at 40, and it's viable at 40. So it is definitely harder. It is going to frustrate you a bit, but if you can get it down pretty quick, it's definitely worth it. So I appreciate you guys tuning in. And yeah, hopefully I've helped you guys out.